We're ready up to the A.
Yeah, time flies.
Moshe Rabbeinu said, Ebrenov ve'ere. He wanted that the Yidden should have to be zoiche to the Iyah. They should see. The Alter Rebbe brings in the Maimer that Reb Chaim Vital writes that Reb Avrom went into the room of the Arizal. The Arizal was sleeping. And he opened his eyes. He had slept for 2 hours, and he said, "I just learned in the Pasha of Bilam in Gan Eden incredible pshatim." So he said, "Can you explain it?" He said, "Yeah, it take me 80 years to explain."
Wait, who went into the Ari? Who went into
Reb Avrom. I don't know which Reb Avrom.
Yeah, so
Rabbi Avrom. Yeah.
Rabbi, yeah.
So he said that Ari was sleeping.
Yeah.
So the Ari, when he opened his eyes, he had slept for 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said that he learned now a whole new way of learning the Parsha of Balak and Bilam. So the Rabbi Avrom asked, "Can you explain it to me?"
Yeah.
So he said, "I need a little more than 80 years to explain it to you." So the Alter,
What of Balak and Bilam?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So
he
the
only
Alter
slept for
Rebbe
2 years,
explained-
2 years for real?
2 hours.
I mean, 2 hours.
Yeah, for real.
Realistically, 2.
Yeah.
But it would take him.
More than 80 years to
explain what
explain.
he,
Also real. He didn't exaggerate. And the Alter Rebbe said that's the difference between learning something in the way of Re'iyah, when you could see it with your eyes, and Shmiyah, when you have to explain it. If you see something in one, you see it in a second, you see the whole thing. If I have to describe something to you, you never saw it. There's something you've never seen in your lifetime. An issue, a continent, or something that you've never seen in your life. I have to explain it to you. It take me hours to explain. If you see it, take a minute. So there's 2 ways to see.
Wow.
There's one way to learn by the ear, to see the Eibishter.
And seeing is believing.
And the other is to explain it, Shmiyah. Moshe Rabbeinu said, Ebrano v'er. I want to go into Eretz Yisrael. Why did he want to go in? Because if he was going to go into Eretz Yisrael, all the Jews would be zoiche,
Right, the Gemara says.
to be zoiche, to have Re'iyah. They should see the Eibishter. It wasn't for himself.
To see Hashem.
Yeah.
Why do you need to get yourself for that?
Because Eretz Yisrael is the right place for it. So if he would go in with Eretz Yisrael, with the Yidden, that would be Zoicha to have Re'iyah. But then the Eivish said that it won't happen. So in the next parasha he said, Va'ata Shema Yisrael. That's why he said Shema Yisrael. He realized that they weren't yet at the level of Re'iyah. However, says the Alter Rebbe, that the Yidden are going to be Zoicha. Chas v'sholom, that the Eivish gets such a request from Moshe Rabbeinu and he turns him down. He didn't turn him down completely. Temporarily. When Mashiach is going to come, it's going to be the Re'iyah.
They showed him the way.
That's why the Alter Rebbe says, imagine, Avram Avinu is in Gan Eden for how many years? Yeah. He's going to be sitting and learning. Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to be teaching all Klal Yisrael. Me, you, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov are sitting. How can you tell me how one class could satisfy everyone? You know, like you remember the Rebbe's Fabrengens, the weekday Fabrengens, are remarkable. The Rebbe used to talk in a way that Talmid Chochem, Rabbi Pinchas Hirschsprung would sit here, would sit and shake his head. There was something for him to hear. And then it was being televised all over the world and being translated in 70 languages. That a Yid who is so far away, that knows nothing, that doesn't know the difference of an Aleph and a Beis and a Sunday and a Shabbos, can also take something and understand. It's akunz, right?
Yeah.
So Mashiach Tzidkenu, says the Alter Rebbe, is going to teach with the ear. He's going to open the Yid's eyes. The Chachamim are called Einei Ha'eda.
But Moshe had this one.
Moshe already had it.
Right.
Yeah. That's why Moshe already is Moshe's Goel Rishon Goel Achani. He's connected to Mashiach. So that Moshe Rabbeinu asked that right then there should already be the full Geula. The Eibush said no, we have to wait. But when Mashiach is going to come, that's going to be. So this parsha is a parsha that's very mesugel for Mashiach to come. Because parsha said, "Hey,
We lost somebody this week who taught with Re'iyah also. Reverend Esther Young.
this week,
She died.
Wednesday.
It was nobody.
last week."
She died
Yeah.
Last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
Tuesday.
This past week.
This-
What I'm saying is she
Past
taught,
week, yeah.
she was the only one I've ever heard that taught, she would bring it alive where you could see and feel it.
Special person. Very special.
She had that gift. She had that gift.
Ah,
I believe she could have been a prophetess. She was very close to it.
very
And her message
amazing,
was
amazing
healing.
person. Very
Takes one to know one.
position.
Well, I didn't know it till after she passed away.
Oh.
I didn't realize who she was.
I saw her very nice.
Achrei Mos Kedoshim Mema.
I just
Sweet.
want to mention something I remember from the Gemara that it says that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he asked Hashem, he wants to see. He can't go there, so he should see it. He went up on the mountain. You know, it's in the Chumash. He went up on the mountain and he looked, right? So the Gemara says they have an whole argument. What could he see? How much he saw? Because according to what he saw, that's what the Jewish people got. You know, in other words, if he could see more in a mile, more something, you know, then they got more. The Yerusha of Israel. Yeah, that's what that's what they explain. Because I mean, the rabbi's talking about something else. He was saying now about a spiritual thing to
Right.
see Hashem, but I'm
Right.
saying it's a more elemental
Right.
that he whatever land he saw, that's what they got in the end. So that's why exactly how it works, I don't know. But he wanted to see as much as he can. Get up on the mountain.
Also, the beginning of the parsha usually have like that. Hashem speaks to Moshe more.
Yeah.
And, just like right out.
Right.
Hey.
We'll get to that. It's the most powerful now. Noichi. Spoke a little bit about it last day in the Maimon. Okay. So let's do the first pasuk, the first Rashi. It's a short Rashi and a short biur from the Rebbe. The first Rashi in Parshas Re'eh is page Tzadik Beis. If you're looking in the Chitas booklet, in Dvorim it's Tzadik Beis. Parshas Re'eh, the first pasuk. The pasuk says, "Rei neich neusel of neich mi in brochel klolle." Reminds me of my daughter's birthday. We were planning to call her from my grandmother, whose name was Bracha. She had a special bracha from the Rebbe Nashab that she'll live a long life. She lived a long life.
Bobby Moshe?
But no, the other grandmother, Rabbi Yochanan Marsov. So in Lubavitch there was a fire, middle of the night, and my great grandmother was his second wife. His first wife never passed away in childbirth. She had 5 children. He was left with 5 children. My great grandmother, her family was moving then to America. So they said, "Come with us." She said, "No, it's a treifene place. She doesn't want to go to America." So at that time, someone suggested the shidduch of my great grandfather, and she wanted to get married to him because she knew him already. In that days, women didn't go to shul, didn't go to Lubavitch, but my great grandmother was a chosid. She used to go for the Yom Tovim to Lubavitch, and she stayed in her cousin's
Why
house
she would want to marry somebody with 5 kids?
because she was a special woman. So she liked the shidduch. So she told her family they can't get into America, and she's going to stay. She's going to Lubavitch. But she married. She took good care of the kids. In the middle of the night, there was a fire. She woke up. She called her husband to save the kids. Take a match and give a scratch, and no more shtetl. That was the way it worked. So he wasn't to be found. So the kids said she saved all the kids. She saved all the 5 kids herself. There was pandemonium. The morning, the whole town was finished. And everyone was out of town. The morning, she found her husband. She said, "Where were you last night?" He said, "I heard there's a fire. A fire. All the kisvei yad of all the rabbeim were in boxes in the Rebbe's house. All the manuscripts, like in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, were missing. A lot of simonim. Why are they missing? Because they get burnt. So I ran to save the kisvei yad in the Rebbe's house.
What about the kids?
So she said, but there's students, there's people in yeshiva. I'm taking care of your 5 children. He said, sorry, I didn't realize. So she said, okay, we're getting divorced. So he didn't know what to do. So he went to the Rebbe. So the Rebbe didn't want to get him directly involved. He asked the Rebbetzin to talk to my great-grandmother. Maybe she'll give him another chance. So the Rebbetzin was very close to her. She spoke to her. She agreed to give him another chance. After she agreed to give him another chance, the Rebbe Rashab said he wants to have her for Yechidus. She came for Yechidus. The Rebbe Rashab said that I'm giving you now a bracha. You should live a very long life.
So
she lived.
You are the descendant of that lady and Reb Chanya
Marsov. When she was in her 90s, I went once to visit her in her house, and I was a kid. I was in school. On the way back, I decided to. So I was feeling not good, and I was burning in fever. So in their 90s, she'd pick up the phone, tell my mother, come pick me up. She put me in the bed. Then she went to knock on Dr. Zellickson's apartment. Then there were 2 people bent over me. Dr. Zellickson and my grandmother. I don't remember what the remedy was, but I slept there overnight, and the next day I felt better.
How old was your grandmother when
She passed away. She was a few weeks shy of her 100th birthday. So I was learning the Maimer of the Kutei Torah in Reya Noiche Noisen Lefneicha Mayom Brocha. I kid you not. I'm telling you the way the story was. I was learning it in my study, on the porch, and then one of my daughters came knocking on the door. Mommy just had a baby because my wife had the baby in the house. It was planned that way. She didn't want to go to the hospital. So, but that was mamish when I started learning the Maimer.
When you eat bracha, you have
Yeah, I'm telling you like this. Mamish like this. Yeah, mamish like this. My daughter came. The nurse is calling you, so I knew that meant that
My grandfather, Rabbi Shalom, the Ben Ish Chai was Messiah Kiddushin, and he gave him bracha under the chuppah. You will live long life, and you will not see death of your children. My grandfather has 12 children. He passed away 107 in Israel about 50 years ago, and nobody died. All my uncle, my aunt, after he died, one after one.
Wow.
We had maybe one left over.
Who gave you the bracha?
the Ben Ish Chai.
What is shochet?
Zog the Rashi. Reya Noiche Noisen Lefneicha Mayom Brocha. So Rashi quotes the word Reya Noiche Noisen, and he quotes the word Brocha Klala, and he writes Hamudas Bahar Agrizim Mahar Evel, the bracha that is said in the Har Agrizim Mahar Evel. What is Rashi saying? In other words, you might think, which bracha are we talking about? Many brachas. It says in Mechukoyse Teleicha when it's not the Gishmeichem Beito. Which bracha are we talking about? Rashi says it's not the brachas that is previously in the Torah, not the klolos that we have previously in the Torah. It's the brachas that we will learn in the following parsha, and parshas, which is that the Yidden that were obligated when they go into the Yarden, cross the Yarden, that they should stand on the Har Grizim and Har Evel and say the brachas and the klolos.
So Moshe is telling what it's going to be?
Yeah, it's saying this part, and he's continuing, and then he's going to continue a few psukim later that Hashem alakech la'oretz asher ata b'sham l'rishta v'nesata as habroch la'grizim v'shaklol al'arevo Elohema, so on.
They say that these 2 mountains today, one is like very lush, has a lot of beautiful grass and everything. The other one is like a wasteland.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they know it.
Okay. Not a very safe place for Eden to go there today.
Where was that?
It's next to Shechem. Next to Shechem. No, next to
It's in
Shechem.
Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah, look at it says here.
And the Har Evel is in Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
So the shaila, and that's why it doesn't say habrocha v'haklola. The Rebbe says because habrocha means the. We didn't talk which bracha it is yet. So that's what the Pasuk say habrocha. But fourth, where did Rashi take his pshat? What bothered Rashi that Rashi came up with this pshat? And usually the Rebbe's formula is you have to look at the words of the Dibra Maschem. Rashi adds, he's explaining the word brocho klola, But he adds a few words in his opening words to his commentary. What's bothering Rashi in these words? I mean, it doesn't seemingly, he's not explaining the words. He's not saying anything. Just quoting the words. He's not explaining anything. Zok the Rebbe like this. Rashi is bothered by a question. You know, if a teacher comes in class and says, Kinderlach, Hetzachai, Epis Nais, this revolutionary, something's new. Okay, where are we holding? Kapitel Yudalet Pasuk Tezvav. Yankele, continue. It doesn't make sense.
You make him excited and then he just goes.
Yeah, you make a big declaration. Kinderlach, listen, Moshe Rabbeinu says, today, there's something new. I mean, the whole Torah is filled with brachas for people that will keep the mitzvahs, or Eikev Tishmun, and then, V'sartem Rachmana Litzlan, what will happen, the consequences. So, therefore, Rashi says, that's where Rashi quotes these words, that's what's bothering him. If this bracha and klola, in these opening words, is talking about the bracha you already learned in Parshas B'chol Koisei, for example, so why would it Pasuk start with a whole declaration? No, therefore Rashi says the bracha and klola is not referring to the bracha and klola we learned till now in the Torah. It's referring to the bracha and klola we will learn in the following couple of psukim, and that's talking about the story of Har HaGrizim and Har Eivel. What's so special? But the question still remains. So what was so special about this bracha and klola that there's a declaration now?
Why can't it be the before?
Because then there's nothing new. When we say it sounds like it's a chidush. Hayoim there's a chidush. If it's the bracha and klola and Parshas B'chol Koisei, this is not a chidush.
Why can you say from the word? Noisen is in the future, not natati. The word noisen.
I hear you, Taina. I hear you, Art.
So the question is, how can
You're saying
this reward showing you, this reward showing you, it's going to be like that was strong by Rashi. It's going to be, not what was.
I hear you, Taina. I hear. So you're saying another svara. Okay. I hear. Not nosati. No, you say.
So the question is, in other words, why does here Rashi like ruins the whole thing? He says it's Hagriz and it's Haray.
No, it doesn't ruin it. He's excited. That's why Rashi says it's Hagriz and Har Eivel, because Rashi's quoting his problem. Why does the Torah start with the whole declaration?
Yeah.
Because it isn't the brachas that we already know. It's a chidush davar. It's something that we don't know. What's the chidush that happened in Har Gerizim and Har Eivel that we don't know from before? I mean, they simply reiterate it. I mean, that if you keep the mitzvahs, it'll be good. If it won't, it'll be bad. No, because Rashi says, in Nitzavim, Rashi says something remarkable. Rashi says, it says over there, Hanistoris Lashem Alikeinu, Vaniglas Lonu Lavoneinu. Rashi explains, in Toimer Umabi Deinu Lasses, Atamanisha Sarabim Alir Huri Ayochim. Everyone gets punished for one individual, not fear. Rashi continues. If a person has thoughts, no one knows his thoughts, no one gets punished for those thoughts. The Eibishter will take care of it. So Rashi holds that when did the Yidden become responsible for each other? At Har Gerizim and Har Eivel. The Gemara, it sounds really it happened at Arvis Moyev before they went over, but we're talking now according to Rashi. Rashi says, but this is what Rashi is saying. Rashi says that when they said Omein Omein at Har Gerizim and Har Eivel, there was something new. It was a chidush. It wasn't just the bracha and klola that we know till now. It was something quite unique.
Now it became Arev.
Now they became Arev. So till today, my schar ve'oinish was for my own actions. For what Yankel, Moshe, what Zorach, what Peretz did, that's not my business. It's their business. And my business is not their business. Oh, that all changed Har Grizim Harevel. All these brachas and klolos became all different. All of a sudden, I became responsible for every Yid in the globe. Every Yid around the globe is responsible for me. Right. So now, that's why there's a chidush dover in this bracha klola. That's why there's a new. There's a chidush dover. This bracha klola is not ha bracha v'ha klola that we know already till now in the Torah. It's not. It's a new. That's what Rashi says. That bracha klola ha'amuras b'hargiza b'harevel. It's not talking about the brachas and klolas we know till now. It's talking about a chidush, a new thing. The Hagrizim Arevel. That's the time when the Yidden accepted upon themselves and became Arevim Zelozah. So it's a very, very interesting din. It's a very strong din. The din is, we spoke about this many times, because we're learning Orach Chaim now. We're learning Hilchas Brachas. It's very relevant to Hilchas Brachas. We spoke about it yesterday by Shalosh Udas, right? That Poshta din, that if there's one Yid in the globe that didn't do a mitzvah, it's as if I didn't do the mitzvah. So, if there is a person, say, if a person wants to eat a cookie, doesn't know the bracha of the cookie, I have to teach him the bracha of the cookie. I can't make the bracha for him.
Does he have to have want to learn it himself?
If he doesn't want, he doesn't want.
Yeah.
But I have to. You
have to give him the opportunity.
Yeah. But if a person didn't put on film today, he didn't put on film. He doesn't know how to make the bracha. I can make the bracha. I already put on film. Why am I making the bracha? Well, I can explain. Because if he didn't put on film, I didn't put on film. I'm making a bracha for my mitzvah. I put on film, but he didn't put on film. And I'm responsible. And Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelozeh. So he didn't put on film, I didn't put on film. He didn't hear shofar, I didn't hear shofar. He didn't hear Kiddush, I didn't hear Kiddush. He didn't hear Avdallah, I didn't hear Avdallah. So it's not a bracha levatollah. If we say he didn't eat a cookie, okay, so he didn't eat a cookie. I'm not responsible that every Yid should eat a cookie. Let him not eat a cookie. You want to eat a cookie? I'll teach you the bracha. But tefillin, I'm responsible for another Yid's tefillin. I'm responsible for another Yid's shofar. That's why that's a very important halocha. When we go out and influence a Yid to do mitzvah, you go out for the campaign of putting on tefillin with another Yid. If you go to a hospital, to a nursing home, to blow shofar for a Yid, or the sukkahs, you go help Yid to shake lulav and esedig. And so if you go to make a seder for a public seder, so on. So you could, the best thing is to teach the people to make the bracha themselves. Obviously, that's the best. It could be they already know how to make the bracha. Maybe they know. You have to ask. They might know if you go to blow shofar for someone. Maybe they're just weak. They can't get out of their house. But they can make the bracha. But maybe they don't know how to make the bracha. You can make the bracha for them.
Where's the source again that says we're responsible? Because I know that I heard there are some, like the soccer, for example, if they give people to eat, they don't insist that they bench, they don't know anything. Because they feel they're hurting them. If they don't do it the next time, then the knowledge that they need to do it, it's an aveira not to do it.
But that's a separate issue, but that's not what we're talking about. The shaila
issue.
is, am I allowed to make a bracha for someone else? And the answer is, it makes a difference if it's a cookie or if it's a mitzvah. If it's a cookie, I can't make a bracha for them. I can teach them the bracha, I can't make it for them. But if it's a mitzvah, then I can make the. So, before we go further, there is last week we started a.
Wait, I don't understand. You can't be might see someone with a bracha rishona. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the difference.
If you're not eating, you can't do
not
it.
eating.
Right.
Okay.
If you're not eating, you can't do it.
Okay.
If you're eating,
then
so then no. Then we'll talk about it now. Punkt asked the right child. So last week we started. It was on Tuesday, and those Punkt Hashgacha Protes, the last piece of what we were going to learn last week on the Tuesday shir, we didn't get to finish, and it has to do with this. And Kol Yisrael Arevim Zebazeh. So I figure why not? Let's let's finish it right now.
It's a reason for everything.
Yes, Shkocha Protas has to do with Kol Yisrael Arev.
You said last year there's a thing else.
I said we'll continue, so yeah, why not? Let's continue. Good. Sorry, I know we didn't make enough copies of Balaam could look in together. Okay. Look together. Mr. Silver. Okay. Middle of the page. Kosavat Moirazok and the Alter Rebbe writes. It's in Simen Reish Tzadik Zayin and Siv Zayin. Bracha Zu. This bracha, which is talking about Bodim in Episamim, the Birchas Hananen is a bracha for pleasure. Birchas Hananen, a bracha of pleasure, Ein Mishainanana Yochel Levarach B'Shvil Mishanana. A person who does not have the pleasure can't make a bracha for someone who does have the pleasure. Ein Adam LeBirchas Yain Shel Kiddush. It's not similar to Kiddush. Lefish Yain Shel Kiddush. Ein Nitola B'Nosei Klal. When it comes to wine for Kiddush, I could make Kiddush for someone else even though I already made Kiddush for myself. Why? It's not a bracha for pleasure. Shaloi tiknu chachamim b'shvil hanoas odom. Chachamim didn't say you should make Kiddush for your pleasure. Ela b'shvil shetzarech l'zachrei olayayin. The reason we make Kiddush is to commemorate Shabbos on a cup full of wine. And therefore it has nothing to do with your pleasure, you don't pleasure. I like wine, you don't like wine. What's the difference? Chazal said we have to sanctify Shabbos as it goes in and as it goes out on a cup full of wine. Therefore, if you made already Kiddush, you made already Avdollah, but there's another Yid that didn't have Kiddush or Avdollah, you can make it for them. Aval ha-besomim b'motzei Shabbos. But when it comes to smelling the besomim, the good fragrance, lo yinhigu chachamim elo b'shvil hanoas odom lohoshev nafsha de'eves letzivus ha-Shabbos. Why did Chazal say to smell the besomim motzei Shabbos? It wasn't for anything but one reason. Because a person, the neshama feels very sad. Neshama Yeseda, the extra, the second neshama left. Right? So now the neshama feels there's a letdown after Shabbos. So in order to give it a little strength, give it a good shmek. So the whole purpose of this thing of smelling is in order for your pleasure. So it's not like Kiddush. Kiddush is, yes, you're drinking a cup of wine. But the whole idea of the drinking a cup of wine is not for your pleasure. It's for the honor of the king as we're bringing him in, as we're accompanying him out, as we're bringing Shabbos in, as we accompany Shabbos out. But when it comes to the Besamim, that's for your pleasure. So therefore, because it's a pleasure, it's Birchas Hananen. It's like every other Birchas Hananen. And therefore, if you're making it for yourself, someone else can be Yotze. But if you're not making it for yourself, another person can't be Yotze from you.
So I was told that if I hear Havdalah, and then I go home and say it to my wife, I say the first bracha, and then she says bracha of Besamim and Esh, and then I say the last one.
Well, the best thing is, again, you were told that you should make Hagofen.
She makes
all the rest.
Besamim, Esh, and I say the last one.
Right. The best thing, the very, very best, there's no shaila, no poiskim, is that when you're in shul, you have in mind not to be Yotze, the Havdalah that you hear in shul.
And you do it at home.
And then you could do everything at home, and there's zero shaila. There's zero shaila. Because the problem is that there's a machlokes if women are obligated for Havdalah or not. So according to the opinion that they're obligated for Havdalah, even if I already made Havdalah, if she didn't hear Havdalah, it's my responsibility. So I can make it. According to the opinion she's not obligated for Havdalah, I can't make it for her. But you're right, I'm going to drink the wine, I can make it. But that you should make for her Havdalah is a machloikis. It's a machloikis. So it's just the same like the problem like Boidapri, Boidamin of Sama and Boidamin of Eish. Similar, the same. Each one is a little different, but it all comes down to this question really. All three of those brachas.
Never accept. So now I never accept the
right, just have in mind. Right, just have in mind. Right. Anyway, you're allowed to drive home because you already said Atochoinen Antono. And if you forgot, you say Baruch Hamav Ben Kodesh L'Chol. Okay, so let's continue. V'hinei, Behilchas Birchas Hananin, and the halachas of Birchas Hananin, Kotzav ad Moed Zaken Klal. The Alter Rebbe writes a rule, a golden rule. Kol Makom Sheyesh Din Kviyus. Whenever there's a kviyus, people are united together. Mitzvah she'echad yivarech l'kulam mishum roiv am hadras melech. For example, if they're eating bread at the table, it's better that one person should make a moitzi and everyone should be yoitza and say Amen. Ava b'makom she'ein din kviyus, if there isn't a kviyus, kol echad tzarech levarech la'atzmei, everyone has to, they're not eating bread, a person eating a banana or water, so there's no kviyus, they're not really kavua together, so everyone should eat and make a bracha on their own. That's the rule. There's a lot of details, but this is the general rule. Then the Alter Rebbe continues. Mamshech, the Alter Rebbe continues, she's yoytze maklal hazeh, there's an exception for this rule. They don't have to be set together, sitting together at the same table, only by the pleasure of eating and drinking. So because everyone has their own plate, everyone has their own food and drink, so why should one person make a bracha? What unites them? The fact that they're sitting at the same table and eating bread. But if it's incense, that those days they used to bring like a pan with coals, and they used to put incense on top of it, and the smoke would go up, and the room would be filled with a good smell. As they were putting the samamonim on the coals, everyone they would make a bracha, minipsam, mizbipsam, whatever it is that they would make a bracha. So the question is, should one man make a bracha and everyone say Amen, or should everyone make an individual bracha? The answer is, because they're all having the same pleasure of the same smell, one person should make the bracha and everyone should say Amen. The same thing when it's the candle Matzah Shabbos. One person should make the bracha and everyone else should be yotzeh from that person. Why? Because it's the same fire. So therefore they're already considered all united as one.
What's the question? What if you have to say a lot of halocha for a number of families? So what would you do?
This is what we're going to talk about in a second. Then another reason, when it comes to fire, it's not really a beracha pleasure, because it's like an obligation. Chazal said you must do it. So it's really that itself unites you. Also, when it comes to the Samim on Matzah Shabbos, then one person can make the bracha for everyone. Even though they're not sitting, because Bavdola, most of us go with the minik to stand. There is a minik to sit, but most of us go
sit.
Right.
Even the guy that makes the sit?
Yes.
There's only a few things where Sfardim do like the Ashkenazim and the Ashkenazim do like the Sfardim. The Tosfos, which is an Ashkenazi, says to sit, so the Sfardim sit, and the other poskim will say to stand. No, I think the Rambam says to stand, the Sfardi, and so the Ashkenazim. There's a few halachas. Yeah, there's also in Chanukah. There's this funny thing where the Ashkenazim do like the Rambam and the Sfardim do like Tosfos. So this is a few things where the Welt loves it. It's this is where you see that the Torah, there's no right. It's more than just a sense of humor. Even though they're smelling and one is smelling after the other person. Okay. Now, why does Alter Rebbe have to give the second reason? It's poshut why the Alter Rebbe give a second reason, because in those days the psalmim they used to put the coals and they used to put the spices on the.
Everyone can smell it.
Right. Today it does not work that way.
Right.
They have a psalmim box and they're passing around the psalmim box. So therefore, that's why the Alter Rebbe is a second reason. The second reason is because the mitzvah B'odem Ereishim, B'odem Psalmim is ke'ein choiv. It's not really a bechaz anan. It's ke'ein choiv. It's not really a bechaz anan. It's ke'ein choiv. So you could ask that this is a contradiction with the halocha that he says in Shabbos. In Shabbos he says that it's not. It's a habichas hanenin. It's a brecha pleasure, and therefore, I can't make it for another yid. I have to make it on my own. I can't. If I make Havdalah for another yid that didn't hear Havdalah, I could make for them the bracha of Havdalah. But boy, mini b'samim, that person have to make himself. But here the Alter Rebbe says that it's like no kein chayva. So l'chayda you can ask a kasha. So I think the answer is two answers. One answer is like this. Two simple answers. Turn the page. V'nira li. Dine pligi de ben Efraim v'aturim efshel levorach birchas psamim d'avdolah lechaveirim. There's machlokas rishonim if you could make the bracha b'yim in psamim for another person. Everyone agrees avdolah you could do for another person, for another man, please. But b'yim in psamim is a machlokas de ben Efraim and the two. V'nira shta machlokaisam hu im takonas psamim o mitzvah loy. What's the machlokas? The question is if this is a mitzvah. Dimu mitzvah kol yisrael arevim zabazah. If he didn't do it, I didn't do it. That's the machloikis. So now we could say two answers to this question in the contradiction that Alter Rebbe. We can answer like this. Two answers. One answer is like this. When it comes to saying that the Kol Yisrael Arevim Zebazeh. So number one, so I already made Havdalah, for example. I already made Havdalah by the Min of Sama, by the Min of Eish, I did everything. Now, if I should make it for someone else, if really I'm not supposed to make it for someone else, I really made a Broch L'Vatolah. It's a serious question. But when we're all sitting together at one table, and the question is, should one person make the Beit Min of Samim, or everyone should make it individually? If I'm going to make it for everyone and everyone's going to say Amen, it's not going to be a bracha l'vatola. It's not that bad. So when it comes to this the second question that I'm going to make the bracha and everyone's going to say Amen, for that we say it's considered it's not really a brichas hanenin. So therefore we're all united as one, and one person makes a bracha and everyone says Amen. But if I already made Havdalah and I already did everything, and now I should do it again, it's a question of bracha l'vatolah, therefore it's a more serious question. So for this we say, when it's b'yim in psamim, don't make it again. That's one answer you can give. Second answer, which I like even more than the first answer, is like this. That it depends for which din we're talking about. When the question is if one person should make the bracha, or everyone should make their own bracha. Why? Because b'roiv hadas melech. If one person makes the bracha, it's nice for the king. So if we're united, then one person should make the bracha. If we're divided, let every person make their own bracha. If Chachamim said that a Motzei Shabbos the Yidden should make Boidim and Psamim, and we all get together 20 people, even if it's not mamash a mitzvah, it's not mamash a mitzvah, but it's ke'ein choiva. What are we doing now? It's aguda achas lasas eretzayin avinu shabashamayim. The Chachamim said we want the Yidden to smell B'samim Motzei Shabbos, and all 20 Jews got together for a B'samim smell. So we're really united. So it's good that one person should make the bracha and everyone should say Amen. But if I already made Havdalah, and now the question is if I should make another time Havdalah for someone who doesn't know, so Havdalah I'm allowed to make. But B'yim bin Psamim we say no, that not, because this is not really a mitzvah. The idea is that a person should have pleasure. So for that already you can't do it again. So again, L'gab
Is that Ash also?
for Eish also. For Eish also.
So if you're making for other people, you heard already just say the first and the last one?
Yes.
Is that the final answer?
Yeah. Yes. They should have to say, and if they don't know, then there's nothing you can do about it.
I hear in Shul sometime when parents make the Havdalah, people take the Besamim, they make their own. Even though they heard.
True. A lot of people do always on their own. That's a good question. Why? There's all kinds of reasons why maybe this minute.
You could be yoitze by God if you want.
But they don't want.
It's better.
To do yourself.
No, it's better to be yoitze from Hadas Melech.
Yeah.
The Pearl the minig is everyone may have a lot by Ashkenazim. There's a minig. This is a different limit schus of why, but it's not supposed to be that way. Because when there's a din kvius, really, there's a maila of Rebbe Hadas Melech. The Rebbe Hadas Melech says that one person should make the bracha and everyone should say Omen.
final thing. If you heard it already, and you're saying it for a lot of families, just say the first and the last blessing. Is that right?
Yes. But if you were in shul,
Let them say.
but if you were in shul and you had in mind not to be yoitza, then you could make everything.
It's all right.
No, but then you're saying if there's a lot of families after that.
Yes, if you already made at home Abdullah,
Right.
and then your neighbor, you have a neighbor called you up, an almona, and she wants you to come over and make Abdullah for her.
Right.
So you're allowed. So you know what? Let's not say an almona because it's more complicated. An alman, an alta yid. He can't drink wine, but he wants you to come make Abdullah for him. Family members, they don't know, they're not frum, they don't know how to make Abdullah. Friends, whatever, other Yidden, they want you to make Abdullah for them. So then you could make Bode Priyagofen and Hamavdal. But the middle two brachas, Bode Bereveish, Bode Bimsamim, they should make. And if they can't make it,
You leave it alone.
They can make it.
if they can make it, good. And if they can't, leave it alone. Well, Bode Min Psalmim is not such a problem because you could smell the psalmim again yourself. That's not a problem.
Every time
Because you could
bracha
eat
to
20
something.
cookies. It's you know, as long as you're willing to eat another cookie, you could make a mezainis and another person could say amen and yoytza with your bracha. That's not a problem. The fire you can't do it again. But the Bode Min Psalmim, if you're willing to smell the psalmim box again, then you could do it. It's not a problem.
House, then you have a problem. Because
No, it's not a problem.
You can say it like 20 times in a row.
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because it's hesach hadas. It's like a person who says, "I'm on a diet. I'm only getting one cookie," and then he says, "This smells so good." So someone brings these great cookies. You know, I'm gonna have a second cookie. So you have to make another mezainis. So you have to make another mezainis. You befedish had in mind to have only one cookie. So the same thing here. If you make Abdullahs, presumably at that time, you're not planning to smell the salmon box 5 minutes later. I mean, why didn't everyone come in? You didn't know. So then, 5 minutes later, you're making Abdullah for another group of people. And if you're willing to smell the psalmim again, so you want another cookie. So you make another time of bracha. It's not a problem. Aish you can. But Aish you can.
So if they know how to say it, they should say those middle blessings.
Yeah,
If they don't, you should leave it out.
you should leave it out. But just the besamim you could, if you're willing to smell it again. If you're willing to smell it again, you could do the besamim.
Question is, if parents make the Abdallah and he has one container of the salmon, you smell it, then you give everybody. It's not better if everybody will have it own and smell it without the other people. There's
should
like
they?
10 of them.
Why would it be better to have their own? Shouldn't be a hefsek between the bracha.
Yeah. Till the last one get it, 25 minutes. Right?
No, no. Fine. In that respect, would be better, maybe.
Can you do what they said of putting the salmon on maybe some coal or something like that, and then everybody will smell it?
Not
I haven't
everyone's.
seen it.
Not everyone is so exotic, you know.
So it's a kiddush on Friday night.
Eventually, we find
You go on the Melech, one person says kiddush and everybody says yotzei. How do you explain that everybody says on their own?
By the Ashkenazim.
I'm a skilled,
Wow.
I'm a skilled worker.
Around
So
the table.
it's a good question. Whatever, for whatever reasons. There are reasons for it, for that.
Why is that doing myself here? Especially Friday night.
There's reasons for it. Some of them are practical reasons. People don't pay attention. You're supposed to pay attention here, bro. People learn to not pay attention.
Even if they don't have a phone on Friday night, it's still doing it.
So we assume they're not paying attention. So maybe the better they make their own bracha.
Talking about the phone, I heard Shabbat, somebody was with me. He's about 5 years. So he said the first 3 months was very hard for him. And I put the switch on the bedroom, put the tape. And he said, but the phone was very hard. So he made a decision. Friday before Shabbat, he put the phone in his car. I don't have a phone. Like this, in the house, I was ringing, so he pick it up. That's what he did for 3 months, then he got used to it. No more phone.
No, but it's interesting because, you know, as I get invited by people surprised, so sometimes Friday night the Bible says you want to make your own kiddush, and I never know what's Is it better? Or is there any point that I should make my own kiddush?
It's a minute.
Well,
I mean, now I can ask. I'll ask.
no.
Okay.
There is a mile in each way. There's a mile in Roivam Hadas Melech, but if there by a mitzvah a person could, certain mitzvahs a person does not have the right to say I want to do it individually. For example, when you hear the Megillah, you're supposed to hear it dafke b'Roivam Hadas Melech.
Right, sure.
That's all universal minhag, that everyone hears the chazan make the bracha, and everyone says Amen. No, make your own bracha. Understand? But it's universal minhag that everyone hears the chazan make the
But
bracha.
afterwards we say bracha. After the Kriya Samigdala,
Yeah.
we say.
But the bracha before,
We just say Amen.
just say Amen.
By
So
the
you see,
shofar.
right, by the shofar also, universal.
Yeah, right.
So we see the some mitzvah, the guiding principle is like this. When it comes to a mitzvah which everyone does individually, like tefillin, so you could be yotze from someone else, but better to make your own. Because anyway, you're doing the mitzvah. And I'm wearing my pair of tefillin, you're wearing your pair of tefillin. When it comes to Megillah, it's a story that it's all of Klal Yisrael, and we're hearing the same Megillah, so it's a more cover to the Eibishter if it's Roivam Hadas Melech. But there are some mitzvahs like Kiddush where there's like with somewhere in between, like Tefillin and Megillah. And therefore there's a question over there. There's a mila sometimes to say, oh, because if everyone's going to listen to the Balabos, that's a Roivam Hadas Melech. It's more covered to the Eibishter.
My tendency is just they ask the guy to be right to me, but I thought about it after so many times people ask me, I mean some people ask him, thinking maybe, what is there, some point for like doing
I
it?
think you have to
There's-
take a
No, there's a mile in each way. There is.
Halacha wise it's the same. You're saying.
It's the same.
That
It ends up halacha wise
Yeah.
that it's your decision
Is
to
there
make.
any school of
Because
saying,
no,
it's Kiddush,
no. That could be epis.
Yeah.
I looked and I haven't found.
You didn't find.
I didn't find.
So
This is a
that's
davar
not-
which is
so
shackle.
That's a good answer.
That there are people that
Okay,
like
it's
better.
shackle.
But each one, Shneim l'shem
Yeah.
Shemayim
Yeah.
niskavna, like the
Yeah.
Taz says.
Yeah.
Those that says you should learn Torah by night, right? The Gisa v'yem v'loyla. So the Taz says that there are those that by night they give a good shlof, a shlofen kedavoy.
Yeah.
And why? Because when they'll sleep good, they wake up in the morning, they could sleep, they could learn. Yeah, that's
But maybe
So
it
he
can be like
says-
a schut. I'm
So
sorry.
he says that Shneim l'shem Makavan l'shem Shemayim, both are getting equal schar. Both are getting equal schar. So over here, both are meaning l'shem Shemayim. Some want to do it the mile of Horev Hamadas Melech. Some want to have the mile of doing individually the bracha. So it's a zolba schar.
Maybe individual bracha, we want you to make a bracha, and you answer amen. You want more amen.
Well, I see
I
where
hear what you're saying.
a couple might be sitting at the same table at a qualified.
He came in the first, the rabbi gave him the answer.
Or children. I see.
What about Rosh Chodesh is coming up? My cousin says Shechayanu. Shechayanu, right? For Halla.
Only was hard in Ashkenaz.
Okay, so over there, I was told that even the cousin says Shechayanu, for Halla, you should say individually. Anything, you hear anything about that?
So I didn't say tak Shechionu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Hallel.
For Halla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Rosh Chodesh? Is this every Rosh Chodesh?
When do you say it?
I never saw that.
No. Where? It's in the Siddur?
No, I'm sorry. I should read that. Halil Gamor. Halil Gamor is
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
You
not
never-
Rosh Chodesh.
Right,
Rosh
right.
Chodesh is
But when they say full Hallel,
Yeah.
so basically 18 days in the year, that's what the Gemara says in the. Yeah. Then so they say Hallel.
Yeah.
Which bracha? I'm sorry. They say Shechionu before the bracha Hallel, after the bracha. Which bracha goes first?
After we finish that,
No, after the Gemara to Hallel, then it should be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as far as
Yom
okay.
Because I don't know the answer.
One other question. In this week's Parsha coming, it's going to be in the month of April.
Yeah.
So there's Hashem is like it's saying to us, listen, now we're in Elul, and this is what's going to be. So take it factually. Am I correct?
Absolutely. That's why he's giving. He's laying us out. He's laying it out exactly. On Shabbos Rish Chodesh.
Pashas Re'eh, we also read it there.
Yeah.
Pashas Re'eh,
Yeah. Always. But I'm saying it's the beginning.
yeah, that's how you start.
Right.
No, so if we're responsible for other Eden,
Yeah.
so for sure we should get the schar for the other Eden, right? If all Eden are responsible for each other, if I'm going to get whacked for another Yid's Avedis, I should when Yid is a mitzvah, I should share in his reward. No, so all Klal Yisrael from all generations are connected. So we can demand from the Rebbeinu Shalom a big schar for all those Yidden, for all those generations. And that schar should translate and Bona Chaim as Rabbi Yochanan Marsov and Gula mitzvah shleima for Mashiach Tzidkenu.